everyone, welcome back to Studio 33 Art by Kay. I've been asked to do a table centerpiece for someone as a commission, and I'm going to use one of these placemats that I've brought from our local Kmart. It's 38 centimeters across, so it's quite large. They're cork-backed already, so I've just covered it with a bit of paper in the middle, and then I've taped around the edge. Just to protect that from getting spoilt by the paint. And then I'm just going to create a bit of a stony beach down the bottom by putting down some beautiful pouring masters ready to pour paints, which are beautiful metallics. Now I bought a whole set of, I think about 36 or 48, I can't remember, different paints in this size, this 2-ounce size. So I just wanted to use some of these up, and I thought they'd make a beautiful pebbly beach. And I'm also going to put into that some of the Teal Brulee, which has a lovely coppery, goldy interference through it, which I thought would be really nice to put with that. And then I'm going to use the Amsterdam Pearl White paint, which I have here. So it's the Pearl White series that I've made into a cell activator. And where's my cell activator gone? Somewhere here. Oh, here it is. So I've mixed that up with Australian Floetrol. Now I have noticed recently that the Aussie Floetrol has become quite thin. So it's not so much 1 part paint to 4 parts Floetrol anymore. But I just mix it up so that when I bounce it, when I drizzle it back into the container, it bounces back onto the stick after about 3 to 4 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, yeah. So it bounced back after 3 seconds. And that's how I work out the consistency of my cell activator. Hope that makes sense. Now for the blue, for the ocean, I'm going to use the Pouring Masters paints, which I love for this. Now, I haven't just poured those straight from the bottle. I have mixed them with the gloss pouring medium that comes with the Pouring Masters when you buy them in the sets. So I've actually added some of that just to help with the flow. So without further ado, I'll get on with it, and I will tell you the colours as we go. Now I only want a little bit of beach down the bottom, and I'm not going to lay down a base because I'll end up with too much paint on here, and I don't want to have a lot of the paint run off and ruin the pattern that I end up with my cells and so on. I don't want them to be overly enlarged. So to do that, I won't have a base which will make it flow more. So by not having a base, it won't flow as much, is what I'm trying to say. It's getting a bit late here at the moment, so hopefully the lighting's okay. Normally I have a big window to the side of me here, which I still have, but it's night time instead of normally I video in the day and let that light come in. So hopefully, you know, you'll be able to see everything okay. It's always a bit of learning experience, learning how to get the lighting right. All right, so without further ado, the Coffee Brown Metallic Pearl by Pouring Masters. Now, as I say, I don't want it to take up too much of the piece. I just want the rocks to just be down the bottom, very bottom, because I really want the rest of it to be the ocean scene. And this is the Antique Bronze Metallic Pearl. Really like that colour. So I'm just drizzling these, and drizzle them all the way to the edge too, actually, which I wasn't doing. Deep brown metallic pearl. So just keep drizzling it until you've basically filled in all the gaps. And then I'm going to swipe over the top of it. And then I've got the dark brown bark metallic pearl. Don't want to put too much of the dark brown in really. just to put a little bit of near the edges. Now I'll put in some of the TLP Brulee, which, as I say, has a beautiful goldy colour shift in there, just to lighten the beachy stones up a bit, and that will be beautiful when it dries. It will really have that colour shift going through it, which will be really nice. Okay, so I've nearly filled in all my gaps there. I'll just let it move around a little bit. Should basically cover all those over. Once I swipe it will, so I'll just burst the bubbles. So I can see here it hasn't quite covered, so I'll just move that paint into that area. And over the sides, make sure my sides do end up with a nice covering of the paint. Oops, great. Been a bit clumsy tonight. And so now I'm going to get my little offset spatula, which is a really good one, this one actually. I like the width of it for when I'm doing a swipe. And I'm just going to use, as I say, the Amsterdam Pearl White. So I'll just put some of that onto my spatula here. Probably need to make some more up actually by the time I've finished doing all this. Need to make sure I've got enough on there. And now I'm just going to swipe over. Beautiful. Wow. Lovely cells. Looks like a rocky beach to me. Right, so I'll just leave that to sort of develop a bit while I get on with putting the rest of the paints. So I'm just going to put these down in the chevron effect just to cover the whole board. So I'm just going to start off with, actually I won't start off with that, that's my favourite. I'll leave the favourites till last. This is a colour that I've just mixed up from my scrapings when I've done some of my cheese boards. And I've just picked that up off the board, mixed all the colours together and put them in there, and it's made that beautiful colour. And it's meant that I haven't wasted my paints. So I'll just put this one at the bottom. So my aim is to get the board completely covered. And then I've got another one. This is a one that's a custom colour as well, which was just some of the blues with a bit of white in it. Oops, didn't really want to do that. So I've got to be careful not to wreck my beach. And that's why I didn't put down a base, because I didn't want to have too much paint on, because I knew I would end up with a lot of paint with my drizzling. So next is the ice blue metallic pearl. And now the dark sapphire, which is a beautiful dark blue. And then Aqua, which is a very green aqua colour, funnily enough. And my last two are the two favourites, which is Peacock Teal. Absolutely beautiful colour. Lastly, the Hawaiian blue, which is gorgeous. And just fill in with a bit more of one of the light ones. I'll just move that around a little bit just to fill in the gaps before I do my swipe. I don't want it to run off too much. Yeah, it's pretty well covering. Don't want to lose my beach. Okay. End up with so much paint all over me. Right, so I can see here there's just a couple of little spots, and I'll just move the paint into those areas just to make sure we've got coverage. And I'll make sure I've got all my edges covered as well. I'll do that at this stage. Just pick up some of the paint that's drizzled off. I'll just put that around the edge there. I'm going to do a swipe in a second. Sometimes when I'm doing my cheese boards, I actually blow the paint out with a straw. But today I wanted to use a swipe. I just thought that it would be nicer to have all the cells rather than just a blown out look, which is nice. I mean, it is nice. Okay. Alrighty-o. So, burst some bubbles. I will spin this out a little bit after I've done the swipe and before I do my wrecking lines, because I don't like my wrecking lines to go skew. I like to keep them with their shape. So hopefully I've got enough cell activator left here. If not, I'll have to make some more up. Don't think I am going to have enough though. No, so I think I will need to make that up. So I'll quickly do that. Okay, so I think I've got it to the right consistency. And I drizzled that back in. I'll just count how many seconds before it bounces back up onto the stick. 1, 2, 3, yep. So that bounced back after 3, which is what I want. So now, load up my little spatula here. I want to make sure I've got enough on there because I've got to swipe this a fair way. So here we go, and I might stop halfway and start again because I think it will run out. I don't think I'm going to get all the way. Oh, they look lovely. Make sure you wipe your little spatula off in between each swipe. You want to muddy your colours. going to be the biggest one here, so I might stop halfway with this one. So we get some of those nice cells in the middle as well. So these aren't jelly bean cells like you get when you're doing the bloom recipe, which has much thicker paint. These are much more sort of subtle. Whereas when you use the thicker paints that you use for the bloom technique, you get much thicker, fatter cells, like as I say, like jelly beans. Whereas this paint's a lot thinner. So it's a different technique altogether. So I like the way I did that, came in there, so I'll do that again. Just go halfway. And then pick up again. Okay. Lovely. Oops. And one final swipe. Okay. Now when I'm doing a beach scene, I always like to use some of my luster white metallic pearl from Pouring Masters, and I do these little swipe through with a little bit of that. It just creates like some white foam. So I just get a piece of playing card that I've cut into a strip, dab it in to the paint, and then just wherever I want to, I just do these little white swipes. And I think it just helps to create more of an ocean look. I will have the white foaming ocean in my resin when I resin over this, but I do like to have it in the paint as well. So just wherever you fancy, just to bring that in there. And I love it, it just looks like foaming waves to me. It's just a little cell activator all on its own. Don't want to put too many, because as I say, I will put it into the resin anyway, but just anywhere where I sort of feel like I want to break it up a little bit. Maybe one up here somewhere. Just a little one. And then I want to put some through here, which is where I'll be starting my white wave. When I do my resin, we'll start here and we'll go backwards anyway. So I'll just blend in a little bit through here. Alrighty, might put a little one just there. Fix that bit up. Okay. Do I want a little bit up the very top there? I think I do. Point is knowing when to stop, really. Just wanted to take that off there like that. Yep. Okay, so that's where you get creative and you just do what comes to you. And as Julie Cube always says, your art room, your rules, your way. And now I'm just going to spin that out a little bit just to get some of that paint off. I'm just going to leave it up on the cups though, so I won't spin it too hard. Actually, I should just burst my bubbles actually before I do that. Five gazillion, at least. Well, it certainly does look like a wild ocean, that's for sure. So I don't want to spin it out much more than that. That should be enough to allow that to dry without being too deep. So especially since I didn't have a base under it. So just make sure my sides are covered. Because that's really pretty coming down the side there. Running over. And I'll make sure I also immediately take a stick and just take your stick and wipe those drips off already. A, because it stops more paint from running off, but B, because I don't want to leave my tape that's underneath really wet and allow the paint to go into the cork. I did actually try the other day using some latex on the cork instead of tape. However, when I took it off, it just destroyed the cork. So I can just keep as much of the paint off the tape underneath as possible. It should help to stop the cork being damaged. Okay, so I'm loving my little beach here. My waves. So now what I'm going to do is take a bamboo skewer and I always like to just do some wrecking lines through the, particularly through these white wavy bits, and just breaks them up a little bit, and it also gives a bit more movement. Not that there's not a lot of movement as it is. So I'll just do a little bit through here first. Just make some lovely swirly bits. I do love a good wrecking line, I really do. It's one of my favourite things. The first person I saw that did the drizzle swipe wreck spin was Kathleen Stornborg Miller. And yeah, she does some beautiful drizzle swipe wreck spins. I want to do a wrecking line through here, but it is supposed to be the beach, not the ocean, so I don't really think I should do it. So I'll hold back on that. So then I'll just do any little wrecks, just anywhere where I feel I want to, really. Just creates beautiful patterns. And the movement, making it look like the movement of the ocean. Very abstract, of course. Lovely. As I say, I don't want to spin those out. because I don't like them going all skew if I like them to hold their shape. I love when you start one of these wrecking lines and you go through some of the cells there, you get like a kind of a teardrop effect, and it's just beautiful. Okay. Well, I reckon that's about it. If I just keep on going, I'll just keep on going. So I want to stop at some point. So I'll just hit it with the heap embossing tool again. I'm really loving how the Amsterdam Pearl White made such a beautiful cell activator. It's really gone very well through there, and particularly through the bottom part here. My little rocks. And I'll put this video up, but then I will also show you when I do the resin on it and how I'm going to create my resin waves. And also I've always put a bit of very, very fine glitter into my resin when I'm doing any of the ocean look pieces that I do, and it just makes it like magic, beautiful. So each stage sort of builds on the previous stage. So anyway, I'll leave it like that. I'll come down now for a close-up. So here we are coming down for a close-up. Excuse the reflection from the light over there. I am doing this at night, as I say, but I've got the flash on, and so you can pick up the beautiful shimmer here on my beach with my rocks, my big boulder beach. And where the two, the beach and the ocean join, I will be doing a white line of resin, which I will then blow out to create waves in the resin, so that join there will look a lot tidier once I've done my resin. But you can see here all these beautiful colours. That Hawaii blue is just beautiful, and all the colours blending together, all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blues that I used. But I did want to get that really blended look of all the colours in there. And there's one of my beautiful little waves here, the foam that I used from that swipe I did with the Pouring Masters Luster White Metallic Pearl. So there's some really beautiful cells going on here. Lovely. So I'm very happy with this piece, and hopefully it will look gorgeous once I do the resin, which I'm sure it will. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching that one today, guys, and we'll give this a go, and that you liked it. If you did like it, if you'd like to give me a like, that would be great. Or if you'd like to make a comment or ask me a question, please feel free to do so. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you back here in Studio 33 in the not too distant future. Until then, stay safe. Bye-bye.